is Sonia Baquero. Welcome to Taste of the Florida Tropics. We are here today on behalf of the tropical fruit growers of South Florida, and we are here to talk to you a little bit about our tropical fruits grown right here in our backyard in the Redland area and Homestead. We have today with one of our wonderful guests, one of our beloved friends, and a tropical fruit grower, Mr. Erik Tietig. Hi, Erik. How are you?
Hi, Sonia. Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
No, thank you for joining us today. Erik is he's happy to be here for us to explain to us and talk to us a little bit about tropical fruits. And today we're going to be talking about the guava.
That's right, Sonia.
And Erik, I wanted to let's talk a little bit about yourself first. Why don't you give me a little bit of your background? How did you get started in this tropical fruit industry? What is your business like?
We have a 50-acre parcel, which is a combination of greenhouse, container nursery, and grove. The nursery was founded in 1972 by my mother, Colleen Boggs. I'm a second-generation grower.
Excellent.
And I've been at the nursery full-time since 1999 when I graduated from the University of Florida.
Did you study agriculture or horticulture?
No, actually I didn't. I studied political science and international relations.
Okay, way off.
Right. So everything I know now I owe to her entirely.
Great. So you're an expert if you grew up in this field here.
Yeah. Well, I grew up eating it also, and from what she's taught me, I've become very, very familiar.
Great. What is the name of your nursery?
It's Pine Island Nursery. We specialize in all different kinds of tropical fruit trees, and we also grow 23 different kinds of fruit crops ranging from gourmet mangoes and avocados to dragon fruit, and of course guava.
Excellent. Let's talk a little bit about the guava. We brought in a few different types of guava here today with us, and just wanted you to give us a little bit of background information on these guavas. How many different types of guavas are there, and then opposed to how many are really commercially sold?
Well, guava are native to Central and South America. There are essentially two different types of guava. We have the white flesh variety, which is known as the Asian seedless guava, and this is the primary commercial variety that's grown here in South Dade. This variety will produce about 25,000 to 30,000 pounds per acre, which is about 250 to 300 pounds per tree.
Per tree.
And guava do fruit year-round. The primary season is through the warm months of the year, but they will produce a light winter crop as well.
Okay, let me ask you, Erik, this type of guava, how do you eat this? I mean, I see that it's a little bit larger and a harder type guava.
Yeah, that's right. One thing that makes the white-fleshed variety of guava unique is that you eat it crunchy like an apple. So even when it has a thick green skin, it's ready to eat, it's sweet, and it resembles an apple in many different ways. In fact, a lot of our customers will substitute the white guava for apples and make a guava pie.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
The other type of variety of guava is the red or the pink flesh guava.
Oh yes, that's very prominent in the Hispanic market.
Right, right.
Pastelitos de guayaba, a lot of the guava cheesecakes that people
Exactly. Have. This guava is very versatile. It's used in cooking, it's used to make jams and jellies, of course. And this is also grown commercially here in South Dade, but on a much smaller scale. It produces just about as much tonnage, and it also has a light winter crop rather as well.
Oh, excellent. So these types of fruits, they can be grown right here in our backyards. This is the perfect weather for someone to grow a little guava tree in the backyard.
Guava trees are subtropical.
Okay.
And the climate that we have in South Florida is absolutely ideal for them.
Okay.
They can stand light freezes, and they thrive in the hot winters that we have. They love the tremendous summer rains that we get. And they grow like weeds. Guava trees need very little care. They essentially have no problems with pests or disease. However, the fruit itself is susceptible to the Caribbean fruit fly. And that fly will lay its eggs inside the fruit. The larvae then make their way to the seeds, and then the larvae will exit as a new carrot fly that is called Caribbean fruit fly. The only way to keep this fly out of the fruit is actually to bag each individual fruit with a paper bag or something similar on the tree.
On the tree.
Now, for a person's backyard, it's typically not a problem.
Okay.
The carob fly will not move in unless you have a lot of fruit that's on the ground that's rotting. So an easy way to keep the carob fly out of your backyard is to never let the rotten fruit stay on the ground.
Oh, have a very clean area around the tree.
Keep it neat, throw the fruit away, bag it and dispose of it properly. In addition, you can pick the fruit just a little bit unripe because guava will ripen off the tree, and then the carob fly will never have a chance to even enter.
Oh, excellent. You know what, Eric? I had the privilege of meeting with our local chef, Alan Susser. He is a top South Florida chef, and he works wonders with Florida tropical fruits. And I sat down with him, and we worked on a recipe with the guava. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at that interview? Today, what are we using today?
Well, we're going to be talking about guava, and just as guava or some of the other tropical fruits that are available as Florida's tropical fruits, what I want to sort of suggest is how easy it is to utilize the tropical fruits on my menu, and that's really what I enjoy about the tropical fruits, because it's sometimes some of the tropical fruits are not available all year round. Mangoes, for instance, there's a mango season. We love mango season here, and that's great. But it's actually limited to more or less the summertime. Exactly. Guava is available all year round pretty much, and that's really neat. So we can utilize it on the menu throughout the year. And there's actually a couple different varieties of guava also that I'll talk about in a few minutes. But what I like about the tropical fruits on my menu is it's a way of utilizing menu ingredients that no one else has around the country. And so that when guests are coming into Chef Alan's, they're very surprised about the palette of ingredients, the flavors that I'm using. So you
incorporate these fruits almost all year round?
Very much. I incorporate tropical fruits, whether it's into seafoods or meats or poultry, salads. I do a tropical fruit chutney that I use with Bahamian lobster and crab cake. I incorporate into shrimp. I incorporate into just almost every dish. And yeah, some people do think that I'm kind of tropical fruit crazy, and I am. It's not my fault. It's just great flavors, and it's unique. And that to me is what I like to do at Chef Alan's. If I'm able to present flavors that are different than the next people have. And you know, with tropical fruits, a lot of people have not cooked with tropical fruits so much. People in South Florida have grown up with tropical fruits, and wonderful local fruits coming from the Redlands and from Homestead, but very often they're not cooking with them, and that's what I want to show with these few shows that we're doing, is that it's easy to cook with tropical fruits, and it's easy because the natural essences of them, they're very aromatic, they're very flavorful, they also have a great depth of flavor. Some of them have cinnamony and peachy sort of flavors. They're not one-dimensional, they're three-dimensional in flavor, and that's wonderful.
Excellent. I know exactly what you're saying, because we kind of limit ourselves thinking they're fruit, it should be sweet, and we maybe only think about it in a dessert. Right. Example, the guava, we all know the pastelitos de guayaba, you know, things like that, but as you're saying, you use it in your main dishes with fish, with meats and everything else. So yeah, that's great that we can experiment and learn more about this.
It's true, and some it is experimenting for people that maybe have not grown up with guavas, but they see them in Publix and they see them in the supermarkets, and they go, "What is that?" And,
yeah, no, you can even realize it as you're approaching the guavas. You can smell that.
Right.
From so far away. It's a very strong sense. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's a great tropical ambrosia.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And you sort of smell the essences, the tropical flavors with it, and the warm spices, and that's wonderful. Here, I've actually got some of the guavas that we wanted to talk about here. We've actually got two different kinds of guava.
This is the one that I'm saying you can smell very far away.
Right. So that has a big, wonderful aromatic flavor to it. The flavors, when they're ripe, actually, just in talking about guava, they can be very hard when they're not ripe. But just leaving them ripen on the countertop is wonderful. Till there's a soft squeeze to it. And then when you have that soft squeeze, that's when it's ripe, and you see it's got a nice pinky flesh.
Yeah, and it has a lot of little seeds in the middle. Can those be eaten?
You can. The seeds actually add a nice texture to it. There is a sort of creamy milkiness to the guava with a little grit to it, and the seeds add a little crunch. You can actually eat the skin. on a guava, so it's all edible.
So you can just eat it just like an apple?
Like an apple.
Excellent.
Later on, when I'm cooking with that, I'm going to dice that up, because what I'm going to be making with that is a garlicky guava shrimp. So
Sounds
very
delicious.
Easy recipe, very, very nice. This
now, what
guava,
is this?
This
monstrosity.
It is.
I've never seen one of these.
It's big and bumbly,
Yeah.
but you know what? This is an Asian guava.
Oh, excellent.
This Asian guava is a really unique flavor. First off, it's the texture. Okay, it is firm. You do cut it firm. You're not going to wait for this thing to soften up.
Okay.
You want to use it hard. With that, you're looking for that texture. So it's almost like a crisp green apple, which is wonderful. With this, today what I'm going to do is utilize that to make a dish that is a ceviche, a hot palm and guava ceviche, which is kind of going to be really unique in flavor.
Now let me ask you, Chef Allen, like I said, this one I've seen in most of our local supermarkets here in the Miami area. However, something like this that's a little more ethnic or directed more to maybe a certain ethnic culture, where can I find something like this?
Probably in an Asian market. You know, that's what's wonderful about Miami. There are so many little markets that do go down to the growers, that go to the secondary marketplaces and pick up guavas and different tropical fruits, that the mames and the sapadilla and sapotes and just all these wonderful fruits. And I encourage people living in South Florida to experience some of what their neighbors are using. You know, this is the first generation for a lot of people living here in South Florida, and discovering new ingredients, discovering new fruits. It doesn't happen just by accident. You sort of purposely go out there, looking at it, tasting it, being a little bit more daring, being a little bit more adventurous, and that's, you know, you're really going to be wonderful. The surprise when you taste some of these fruits.
I know it's excellent to try to spice up the home life and the home dinners, and really impress the families with some different tastes and different textures. That's excellent.
Great. So these guavas are going to work great with the shrimp as well as the ceviche. So why don't we go into the kitchen and I'll show you how it's done.
Sounds excellent. Let's go.
Okay. A pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to the Taste of the Florida Tropics. My name is Sonia, and here again we're here with Erik from Pine Island Nursery. I hope you enjoyed that little segment with Chef Allen as I interviewed him at his restaurant in Aventura. I also just wanted to ask Erik one more question. I wanted to talk about a little bit of the nutritional value of the guava. I hear it's very, very high in a lot of different vitamins and antioxidants.
Right, that's right, Sonia. I'm glad you asked. Both the white and the pink or the red flesh guava are very high in vitamin C. In fact, they have just about as much as an orange. And in addition, the red and the pink varieties are loaded with lycopene, which is a natural antioxidant. And lycopene is known to fight both cancer and heart disease in men and women.
Excellent. It's very important for us to get those great nutrients into our body.
Absolutely.
And I also just want to thank Erik for bringing us one of a guava tree from his local nursery, Pine Island Nursery, and you can see a little bit of the characteristics of how a guava tree looks like. Also, I just wanted to mention that these fruits that are grown here locally, they can be found in so many areas in the Redlands areas, but also look for them in your local supermarkets. And if you don't see a guava, go ahead and ask your produce manager, because they are right here, they're in our backyard, and there's no reason why you should not have them. Now, stay tuned. We're going to be right back to Taste of the Florida Tropics.
Girl, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. You're closer than my peeps, you are to me, lady. Yo, this is Rayvon. A lot of people may not think that they can get infected with HIV or AIDS. Every hour, someone under the age of 21 gets infected and they don't even know. You may think you know your partner, but you're probably wrong. A person may look healthy and be infected with HIV. It's smart to talk about HIV before you get intimate. Don't let the heat of the moment be the end of your life. Sex can be deadly if you don't protect yourself. Be smart, get tested, and use a condom. Know your status. Rewind, come again. Save you and others from HIV. Testing takes place in offices near you. Find out about prevention and treatment for HIV or AIDS. It's safe, it's free, it's confidential. So if you're between the ages of 13 and 24, call 1-877-HIV-TEEN and get tested.
Hi, welcome back to Taste the Florida Tropics. I'm Sonia Baquero, your host, and I'm here today with our very close friend and a local nursery grower, Erik Tietig. Just wanted to go over again, we're going over the guavas today, local tropical fruits that are grown right here in our backyards in the Redlands area. And just wanted to, again to extend to our viewers that these fruits are here, they're grown here, they're local. There's so much information on these fruits that you can find on our website, so please check that out. We also have membership opportunities to become more aware of these local tropical fruits of Florida. And also we're going to be going to Chef Allen once more because we had the opportunity to cook with the guava right there in the kitchen with him. Please stay tuned for that.
Hi, welcome to my kitchen at Chef Allen's. Pleasure to have you here. We're going to talk about tropical fruits, Florida tropical fruits, and today we're going to discuss guavas. Guavas are wonderful because there's several different types of guava, several different ways of getting guava. Fresh guava that we get here in South Florida is wonderful. Great flavors. It has a depth of flavor. Sometimes people call it jammy and a little musty, but also it actually has a great tropical flavor. This one, the Florida guava that we're going to first discuss, I'm going to be making a garlicky guava shrimp. It's going to be a lot of fun, very easy for you to do at home. And with that, let's take a look at this guava, because this guava is wonderful. As you can see, sometimes when they're ripe, you're going to see the nice pinky flesh to it. When they're not so ripe, sometimes you may see it a little bit of green to that. And when they're ripe, what you want to do is feel a little squeeze to that, a little give to it, and then also a nice wonderful aromatic that you're going to get, that sort of wonderful lush tropical flavors that we're going to match into that. So with this guava, we also have another guava that we just want to mention that because we're going to do that in the other half of this recipe while we're talking about guavas, because as you can see, this is kind of like a monstrous size guava. This is an Asian guava, and this one has some of the characteristics of our normal Florida guava, but the flavors of it a little bit more sharp and acidic, more like a green apple. And that's going to be wonderful in our hearts of palm ceviche that's going to match the garlicky guava shrimp. So for this shrimp, what we want to do is first cut the guava and clean that. So with that, going to just cut some nice wedges. And you'll see it's actually fairly simple. We can either peel it or cut the whole wedge like that to remove the flesh. With the guava, some people don't like the seeds. There are some little seeds in there. You can actually eat the guava whole, skin, seed, and flesh, and that's wonderful too. But when you're cooking it, it's probably going to be easiest to leave that seed in there. But if you wanted to remove it, you could. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is make a nice little dice of the guava. should be easy. If you can't get even cuts to it, that's okay too. Usually the idea of even cuts when you're dicing is so that they cook evenly, and so that when it's in the pan and cooking, that one's not going to melt away and the other's going to still be hard with that. So that's kind of why we sort of aim at trying to cut it at a similar size, and so that when it goes in the pan, we're able to get the constant flavor from it that we want in it. So with this, it's actually a very simple recipe. I think that's one of the keys to cooking with Florida tropical fruits, is that it should be simple. We've got a lot of flavor in the ingredients. Taking a wonderful ingredient like guava and using that for its flavor, for its texture, for the color, to add depth to the dish that we're going to make. So with that, we got some shrimp. Okay, with the shrimp, I want to season it. These are nice wild Florida shrimp. They have great flavor. What I've done is peeled them, deveined them. I left the tail on so it has a little texture on that. And going to start this in the pan. A little bit of olive oil. And we get those in the pan. Okay, this may seem deceivingly easy as a recipe, but actually works really well. Well, we've got some whole chilies, and I'm going to leave them whole so we get some of the flavor of the chili, but not so much of the heat. So I'm going to put these whole chilies right in, get some nice heat going on, and then I've also got some chopped garlic. I've chopped the garlic and put it into olive oil, so it's a garlicky olive oil that we're going to add into that. Let that all come together, nice and wonderful. This is going to take a little bit slower flame. So as that cooks, what I want to do, so you can see, I'm just going to start to get them nice and pinky. Get going. I'm turning them over so that we've got some great flavors going on. And right after I turn them over, I'm going to add in our guava. So the guava is going to go right in there. So you see the pink shrimp with the pink guava, which is going to be a really nice flavor combination going on. So this is going to cook for a few minutes on our stovetop here. While we have that cooking, what I want to do is make a little bit of a tropical guava and hearts of palm ceviche. It's sort of different than a slaw. For this hearts of palm ceviche, what we do is combine the hearts of palm. So I've got some very fine sliced hearts of palm, and also we're going to utilize now this guava. Okay, this is the Asian guava. On the Asian guava, as I was suggesting, let me just cut this open so you can get a look at that. So it's got some wonderful white flesh to it, and also again a little bit of a green apple tart aromatic, which is very nice. With that, what I want to do is I'm going to remove the seed on this time. So just going to remove the seed very easily with a knife. Okay, and then I'm going to take the flesh and just really sharp knife, just fine slice on the flesh. Okay, so goes really easy. And then the next piece here. We cut it nice and thin so that we maintain the crunch, and also it's going to be able to absorb some of the flavors that we're going to put together here. So with that, we've got the guava and the hearts of palm, and going to mix that with a little bit of lemon and lime juice to marinate that. Okay, so that's, normally we'd let that marinate. These two together, we'd marinate for about an hour. Okay, once it's marinated, let me take a look back at the shrimp here for a moment with us while we're doing the two at once, and you can see that just wonderful flavors coming up together. Here what we're going to do is also add in some fresh chopped parsley to it, So we get some great color and texture going on. And this I'm going to set off the side of the stove and let it rest for a few minutes before we finish that up. So we're going to let that come to temperature. So with this Asian guava, which we've let marinate for about an hour, we're going to add in some fine julienne red onion and a little bit of poblano chilies, which is a sweet, mild chili. A little bit of yellow peppers as well into it, so we've got colors and textures going on. A little bit of cilantro, as well as a little bit of chive. Okay, so we've got some nice flavors here. Make it a little bit more interesting. What I'm going to do is add in a little bit of rum to this, just a dash of rum, as well as a little bit of coconut milk to give it a little bit of creaminess to this flavor as they come together. So we've got some great flavors coming together here. Season it with a touch of salt and black pepper as well. So this ceviche, this hatsapam and guava ceviche is going to be wonderful. This is going to give us a lot of textures when we're eating the shrimp and combining it. And when we're cooking with tropical fruits or you're cooking, that's important to have wonderful flavors and textures that complement each other, that add interest on the palate as you're doing that. So here what we're going to do is put a little bit of our tropical guava and hatsapam ceviche and our shrimp, which look great. Our garlicky guava shrimp, very easy to do. And I think that's one of the things that hopefully you take away from this is that cooking with tropical fruits can be very easy. It's flavorful, great for entertaining, and you're adding something to your menu that you can do very easily. And great flavors. People are going to love it when you enjoy that. So try this at home. It's really easy, a lot of fun, and great to enjoy.
Hi, welcome back to Taste of the Florida Tropics. Hope you enjoyed that little section with our great Chef Alan Susser. That recipe can be found on our website, so please check it out if you're interested in cooking that. It was very easy, as you saw, and quite delicious as I tasted it with him. And again, I want to thank you for joining us in these series of tropical fruits discussions that we will have. Please come back and join us again. And I want to thank our wonderful guest, Mr. Erik Tietig. Thank you, Erik, for coming, for joining us, for explaining to us a little bit about, well, so much about guava that will help our viewers, and for bringing us this wonderful tree from your nursery. And again, check us out again next time to see our Florida tropical fruits. Thank you.